Have you ever walked into a clinic, explained how you're feeling, and left with a label that felt like it only captured half the story? Or worse, the wrong one entirely? You're not alone. The world of mental health is full of stories like this. Stories where people are misheard, misunderstood, and misdiagnosed, not because the clinicians didn't care, but because the system is built on shaky ground, where bias and noise cloud every decision. Let's start with a young woman named Sarah, a bright 22-year-old who recently started college. She was struggling with energy, motivation, and sleep. One psychiatrist labeled it as depression. Another thought it was bipolar disorder. A third said ADHD. Same symptoms, 3 different diagnoses. Why? Because even in our most scientific systems, human judgment is messy. Mental health isn't like a broken bone, where an X-ray gives a clear answer. It's like trying to measure fog. And the tools we use, checklists, interviews, even rating scales, are all filtered through human perception, which is inherently flawed. Enter bias. Confirmation bias makes a clinician see only what they expect to see. Anchoring bias leads them to stick with the first impression. Availability bias means they might overdiagnose what they recently saw a lot of, like calling every sad person depressed during the pandemic. But it's not just bias. Noise is the other silent culprit. 2 equally qualified psychologists can assess the same patient and give completely different diagnoses. Daniel Kahneman, a Nobel Prize-winning psychologist, wrote an entire book about this called Noise. His team found that even when professionals use structured tools, there's still shocking variability in decision-making. This is especially true in mental health, where symptoms overlap, fluctuate, and present differently based on age, culture, trauma, even gender. For example, boys with trauma are often misdiagnosed as having conduct disorder, while girls with ADHD are often labeled anxious or just emotional. The system wasn't built to capture nuance. It was built for speed. In America, most mental health evaluations last 15 to 30 minutes. That's like reading 1 page of a book and pretending you know the whole story. But how did we get here? Part of it is capitalism. Clinics are rewarded for throughput, not thoughtfulness. Insurance codes prioritize checkboxes over context. There's also a cultural obsession with diagnosis, as if putting a name to the pain is enough to cure it. But labels without understanding can be dangerous. John, a 35-year-old software engineer, was labeled as having high-functioning autism